Excel, Excel, Excel. So this is going to be one of our 3 videos where we're going to go a little bit more in depth of how to create some of those Excel spreadsheets that we made in the previous video that we watched about Excel. In this video, we're actually going to go over how I went and used Excel in order to make a layout of a map. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the AutoForeman. My name is John Green and thank you for tuning into my Excel discussion. So let's get to it. All right, so for this Excel spreadsheet, we're going to go ahead and we're going to recreate a shop map or a layout of a shop. This is mainly going to be a lot of using merge and center and also border control in order to establish how we want to set everything up. So we're going to go ahead and start by just merge and centering several of these actual boxes. Kind of get an idea of how big we want our layout to be. Let's go ahead and put a nice big border around all of that. So we can kind of see the area that we're working with at this point. And from here, what we can do is we can make kind of a dividing section if we wanted to. And again, like I said, it's just going to be all about go ahead and changing the different borders. Maybe we're going to border only the left, only the right, get rid of ones at the bottom. So if you watch it change, again, the drop down is not really working, but you can watch it change right here in this box. So we put another left border right there. And from here, we're going to go ahead and put a top border. And as you can see, it's highlighted right there. Now we kind of made a little bit of an entrance in this top right area. I'm going to change some more borders again. And again, like it said, it's pretty self-explanatory. We add some bottom borders, some left borders right there. Let's make a nice little office space over here as well. So we'll go ahead and get some borders around that area. And now we've kind of lost a little bit of our bold border, so we can always affect that later on. And we'll fix those as we move along with creating, because it's not going to be the first time we're going to change the edge border accidentally. So I went ahead and I applied an actual extra cell just because I know I'm going to want that to be a little bit larger, and now I can make a little opening for a doorway. And from here we're going to go ahead and install where our lifts for the shop's going to be. So what we'll do is we'll use merge and center. Now we can maybe there's a stagger shop. In this case, they're going to be evenly, spaced and in line with each other's rows. So we're just going to continue to merge and center. And again, we can copy and then paste that using the Control C and Control V in order to expedite our time. But really, just wanted to make sure everything is laid out for you so you understand what we're doing here. It's very simple, but the more you play around with it, the more you can really get some fine details in there. So I'm thinking of how many bays we're going to have in our shop, how much we want to spread them out. So let's go ahead and put some borders around those so that we can actually identify them and see them a lot clearer. Now that we've applied our dark borders on everything, we're going to go ahead and change this bottom area right here. Move this down. We're going to get rid of actually all of our borders in this one. So now we have a kind of an opening of where we're going to enter the shop. I'm going to get that thick border around there again to change what we did in the top left section. Now I'm going to go back through. I'm going to remove the borders altogether. We're going to go ahead and go with no border. So now we have an opening to the shop. I'm going to change or fix my door that I accidentally deleted over here. And I have my little wall. And from here, we're going to do a merge and center right there. We're going to call this the tire area. And I'm having a caps lock crisis right now. So now we have our tire area. All right. We have a nice little open area that we can go to, and that's where tire storage for the shop and for the facility is going to be located at. We're We're going to merge and center these up here. And we're going to call this area, let's adjust that. I'm going to call this area parts. Again, having a cap locks issue. Now we're going to change where we want the location. In this case, I'm just going to head and center it on that actual box right there. Do a little bit more playing around with merge and center. We're going to open up this, get rid of that border right there, so now we have an entrance to the service drive. Merge and center that. Obviously, you got to have the best spot in the house, the foreman office, located to where you can look down the road and see all of his technicians working. I'm going to play around with the alignment of that. We kind of lost our borders, so let's go ahead and get those back. I'm just going to use an upper border right here on this area. Do the same over here in order to give me my office walls back. Lost my spacing right here, so we'll just do a side border. Do the same thing over here. Now we have, we have another opening. We need to undo what we did right here, so now we've got our box back, but again we lost our top border, so we're just going to undo that by hitting Control Z, get our border back, reopen up our access to the service drive, merge and center this section right here. Call this the tool room. And it kind of gets a little bit, tedious at some point, because when you try to delete one area of, borders, you end up undoing some borders that you may want to keep. So as you can see, we had to redo the part store. But now you pretty much got the layout, so we can go ahead and, begin the next step, which is just labeling. So we're gonna lay out where all of our technician spots are at. So we got, Fox's Lift. And we're going to go ahead and have an empty stall because Fox gets distracted, so we can't have him right next to Willow Rosenberg. So we'll have Willow's Bay over here. And then we're going to have, let's see, we'll throw good old Orochimaru over here. Keep moving down. Next is going to be another empty bay. And then we're going to go ahead and have an alignment rack over here at the edge. Next we're going to go ahead and get Prison Mike's rack over here next to the tool room. He always has to be close to an exit, in case he has to make an escape. Yugi's bay. And then we're going to go ahead and have Hermione's bay. So now that we got all that good, we can go ahead and center everything. Do a merge and center right here. We can say this is the bay door. And then up this way we have another merge and center, and we'll say this is to the service drive. And pretty much there you have it. It's fairly simple. There's not much more to do. Once you set up your print, make sure that everything's nice and centered the way you want it. Hit print, and then you're good to go. Alright, hopefully you learned something cool and realized that you can use Excel to make a map of actual location, whether it's for your room, in your household, or at the shop, whatever you want to use it for. Now you know how to. Again, thank you for tuning in. I'm John Green, another episode of AutoForeman, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.